I feel like too many people, they wake up, they want to start something, they want to do something, and they go to sleep and they forget about it the next day, and I was definitely one of those people.
Would you quit with the cold words?
All right, welcome to the first official episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to season 2 of The Closing Shift. I'm Hunter. I have a podcast called The Closing Shift. I work at Publix as my day job, and podcasting and writing are my hobbies, and that's how I try and live my creative life. So one day we were at work, me and my friend Sophia, and we were very bored after work, and we had both finished what we were doing. We had been talking about having a podcast and starting one, and that we felt like we could both do it. So we just got bored, hopped on the intercom one day. Both of us, just kind of talked over the intercom for everyone that was still working. And it kind of just spiraled into everyone wanting it every week. So we did that for probably 7 or 8 weeks. And everyone was like, why don't you just actually do this? So finally, I just got bored during COVID one day at home, and I started my podcast. It's like, I can do this. There's tools available for me to do it. So I went ahead and just started, just taking that week by week and just trying to grow it and just have fun with it. After our 10th episode, or not even 10th episode, of the one that we started at work, of the fake podcast, on the 10th episode, we were like, okay, we're syndicated. So I went and bought us a cake. Our bakery manager was the manager who was always on duty the night that we did this. So she was like, yeah, if you buy a cake, I'll decorate it. I'll put whatever you want on it. So we were calling it the Pubcast at that point. I work at Publix. So she put a little P Publix logo on it and wrote Pubcast. And we all just kind of sat around and enjoyed this kind of thing that blossomed into, everyone doing something together. Even if it's just me talking or just me and Sophia talking, everyone feels included, which is kind of what I want and the vibe I'm going for anytime I do anything. I just want people to feel included. I try not to have too many themes, and I kind of take guests by first come, first served. Whoever wants to be on comes on, and it kind of just is a fun thing to do with friends. Maybe someday I'll start looking at other guests and maybe condensing into kind of one central theme or anything like that. But it's kind of just, you wake up and you want to talk about something. So having a podcast, you get to just wake up and talk about whatever you want to talk about. If something's bothering you, or there's stuff going on in your life you want to share with people, you get to go on, talk about it, and there's people who are going to listen, sometimes surprisingly. But if it's something you want to do, it's something you want to talk about, it's not too hard to start a podcast. And yeah, I feel like too many people, they wake up, they want to start something, they want to do something, and they go to sleep and they forget about it the next day. And I was definitely one of those people. And then one day I woke up, I decided I want to do this. So I started, and here we are. Most of my life, I felt like I couldn't express myself. I was like a quiet kid growing up, very, very shy. And I felt like I had no way to express myself. I never thought I was creative. My mom was an art teacher, and I couldn't draw. So I was like, okay, I don't have a creative bone in my body if I can't even do that. I have a note in my phone that I use, and anytime like something happens to me throughout the week, or if I come up with an idea, I write down like a note in my phone of, hey, this would be something good to talk about for 10-20 minutes. And then kind of prep work for the podcast, I just kind of create a text document or something on my computer, and I come up with ideas on the spot. I have kind of questions I want to ask people if they're coming on. I write those down. I kind of go with whatever comes to me, typically. But there are things that happen to you throughout a week or a day, that you want to talk about, and you don't want to forget about them. So that's kind of my prep work for going into the podcast. But I've always had the same mentality of, I'm just going to go. I have fun doing this, so I'm just going to do it until I'm not having fun. And that's kind of my whole mentality on it. So A little bit of prep work, but not too much. I started therapy this year just because, needed someone to talk to. I just had a lot on my mind and was going through a lot. So started talking with her, and she was like, well, what do you want to do in life? I'm sure it's not just Publix. I'm like, no, God, no. So we got talking. I was like, I want to start a podcast, because when I was probably 8 or 9, we were at the beach with some friends, and they were like, Hunter, you should start a blog. This was right around when blogs and vlogs and stuff like that were getting real big, and they were like, you anytime we talk to you, you have a lot of good things to say and you have good opinions. So they were like, you should start one. And as a 9-10-year-old, you're like, okay, whatever. I'm not doing that. I write enough in school and stuff like that. But I always thought I could do that. I was just a lazy 10-year-old. So my mom was always kind of pushing me to start that. Anytime I was laying around doing nothing, playing video games, whatever, she would just kind of push me and be like, maybe do what people have been saying you would be good at. So finally I was like, this is something I want to do. And I talked to my therapist about that, and she was like, go do it. Just go start it. And it's not going to hurt you to start it and stop doing it. So I talked to her for a while on it and decided, okay, I'm going to do it. And whatever comes of it, comes of it. Kind of going into it, no expectations, but I'm having fun with it. Like I said, I always thought I could do it, and I'm never not going to think that I can't do something that I want to do. If there's something you want to do, my biggest advice is just do it, and just start. Starting's the biggest thing. People get too hung up in, I need this to start, I have to do this to start. I mean, I definitely did that. I was like, okay, I need to get a nice mic, I want to get a camera to record myself doing this. I was like, I don't need to do all this. I want to do this. So I looked up how to start a podcast, and I found Anchor, and they've been awesome. It's ridiculously easy. And so if you want to do something and you're miserable not doing it, it's the hardest step, but also the easiest, is to just start. And don't criticize yourself too much that you're starting something and you're not good at it. Nobody's ever just started something and been good at it right away. You just gotta find your way to express creativity. Everyone has creativity in some way. For an athlete, it's plays they make. For a writer, it's words and stories they come up with. For a video producer, it's shots, or there's art behind that. There's art in everything and creativity in everything. So it's kind of up to you to figure out where your creativity lies, I guess. Biggest piece of advice is just start. Look up how to do it, find out how to do it on your own. Just pick up your feet and start.
Would you quit with the cold words? Take it on.